As long as you are brave. Female ghost on maternity leave. The man rented a haunted house for cheap. Found a red rope under the bed on the first night of stay. Although I don't understand what the red rope represents, but driven by intense curiosity, the man pulls the rope out. Unexpectedly, a female ghost was dragged out. The female ghost grabs the man's pants. We're going to drag him under the bed and play together, but he accidentally ripped off the man's pants. This time the man is not only not afraid, excited even. Throw the female ghost onto the bed without saying a word. Did push-ups all night? The next day the female ghost was honest. It turns out that the boy's name is Su-yi. Accidentally crossed into this horror 3 days ago. A resurgent world, sleeping through the bridge and eating. He knew that poverty was worse than ghosts. So could the rent be cheaper? The landlord's aunt looked at him with a smile on her face. It's raining so hard. Come in and talk. Rent is a small matter. Mainly to see if the young man is fooled. Then Su-yi followed the landlord to 404. Just entered the room. Su-yi saw the photo frame on the wall. Is this the last tenant? The thought of a beautiful woman sleeping in her bed. He immediately fell into a fantasy and couldn't extricate himself. At this time, the voice of the landlord's aunt suddenly came from the young man. The bathroom is ready. Come and have a look. By the way, let's discuss picking up the rent. Su-yi put down the photo and walked towards the bathroom. Didn't notice the face in the photo at all. It got a little weird. Just entered the bathroom. The landlord's aunt knocked him into the corner. It's not impossible to pick up rent. It depends on your performance, young man. Su-yi was so scared that his aunt broke into a cold sweat. Soft rice is delicious, but your old soft rice is too hard. My teeth are too soft to eat, and your way of negotiating is not advisable. The scene suddenly fell into extreme embarrassment. Among them, the landlord aunt turned around and coughed twice. It means that he just suddenly flashed to his waist. Let Su-yi go to the living room first. He needs to be conditioned. Su-yi sat on the sofa and turned on the TV. The moisture in this house feels a bit heavy. Sitting on the sofa, my back feels cold. Auntie, why don't you lose another 200? At this time, the landlord aunt came out very upset. How about you young people? Just thinking too much. It's like the supernatural on TV every day. Recovery? I shouted suspiciously for years. I'm not still alive and well. The old head of our dance team have lived here for over 30 years, still like a living dragon. And at the same time, he was thinking, this guy is so bad. It's impossible to pick up rent. Su-yi stopped the landlord aunt who was still talking, because the haunted place was reported on the news. That's where the house is. The landlord's aunt's face sank, so tell me the number. Finally, after a heated argument between the two, booked a room for 1,500, just as I was about to pay to sign the contract. So I thought about it and took it away, because he always felt that something was wrong. Decided to stay one night. Sign the contract tomorrow morning. The landlord aunt can only smile and agree. But in my heart, Su-yi is the chicken thief. I'm going to be busy again tonight. After the landlord's aunt leaves, Su-yi took out his mobile phone and opened the live stream. Ask the live streaming host to live in a newly rented house. What to pay attention to? Beautiful woman live streaming host pondered for a while. Suggest he look under the bed. Because of the bed, there will be things left by the previous tenant below, and these leftovers will surprise you. Su-yi is also very persuasive. Look under the bed. Found a red rope. Driven by curiosity, he slowly pulled the rope out. Unexpectedly, a female ghost was pulled out. He was screaming, turn around and run. But how could the female ghost let him go? Since you're here, don't go. Don't do it. Listen carefully first. Clothes and home appliances will burn your heart. I admit I was a bit crazy when I moved in. But no offense, it's the landlord Ying's. The female ghost doesn't listen to his explanation at all. With a flick of his hair, he was directly pumped out. But I only like to eat fresh men like you. I'm about to be ruined by the female ghost. Finally remembered the system prompt. Host in danger. Netherworld judge system begins to bind. Please choose not to bind or choose to bind. Su-yi suddenly became excited. Sure enough, it's the same as in the manga. How can there be no plugins in the Reborn? Is there any choice? Of course, bind immediately. As a result, the system prompts that the binding fails. Scared him crazy, click binding. Just blow up the system panel. and then the female ghost grabbed his pants, crawling slowly down his thighs towards him. Then wait for Suyi to react. The female ghost suddenly pulled him to the bottom of the bed. "Little handsome guy, come in and play." Suyi struggled desperately. The female ghost is even more excited. "Just pull it off." Suyi's pants were directly ripped off by the female ghost, and there was a white light. Reach the binding conditions and disqualify the world, because it is exposed in front of the opposite sex. Lose your qualifications as a human being. The system binding successfully obtained the white impermanence set. Get the fear alleviation. Acquire Netherworld. This time it's the female ghost's turn to be confused. Looking at Suyi exuding yin che, the female ghost apologized on the spot. "Xiao Shuai is too perverted to play with you. I'll go first. I have something to do in a while." Just because his yin che is so powerful that it scares him. However, Suyi did not intend to let him go. With a swoosh, he came behind him. "Did I tell you to leave? Didn't you just invite me to your house to play for a while? And here I am." After speaking, Suyi grabbed the female ghost's hand and threw him on the bed. "Don't be afraid, Miss Ghost. This is the first time I've met a ghost. Let's go to bed and talk." If you use 4 words to describe Suyi's expression, that is hunger and thirst. Malao Tzu is a ghost anyway. It was reduced to being forcibly pulled into bed. What about the law of the king? The female ghost sees that her chastity is not guaranteed. Immediately used a beauty trick. They were wrong. Let them go. Who knew that his move made Suyi even more excited? Squeeze his mouth. Show a smile. "I can't let you go if you look like this. Why don't we talk about life?" The female ghost has a bad secret. "It's over. I met Sira. No. I can't fall into the hands of this kid." Thinking of the female ghost pushing Suyi away, ready to dress people. It means that people and ghosts have different paths. Humans cannot combine with ghosts. But Suyi above didn't care at all. It's like a road on the ground. In fact, there is no road on the ground. More people walk, and it becomes a road. Therefore, it has become the norm to combine more people and ghosts. Unders you anger. The female ghost suddenly stood up. "Just show your true colors." He lunged at Suyi. Mater has never seen such a perverted young man. "Killing you today is a contribution to society." Suyi lightly stomped down. Suddenly, a terrifying pressure attacked the 4 directions. The female ghost's body suddenly fell. "Get down on your knees." It turns out that the coercion of the Netherworld is to make ghosts kneel down and worship. Good equipment skill. Suyi was secretly happy. Step on the back of the female ghost. "What are you going to do to me?" The female ghost's hoarse voice sounded. Eyes are terrified. Suyi smiled. Miss Ghost didn't recruit. Then it's my turn. The first time the female ghost tries to come out scary, but accidentally took off the man's pants. This makes the man who was originally afraid of ghosts not only not afraid. Instead, he grabbed a small whip and played the binding game. Due to too much movement, and it brought in the landlady. He thought something had happened to the man. "I didn't expect it to be a man playing a game." The landlady is also someone who has seen the world. Embarrassed smile. Remind men to be quiet before leaving, because there are still children living downstairs. After the landlady leaves, Suyi picked up the small leather whip. "I played with the female ghost for 2.5 hours. The screams of the female ghost came one after another. The landlady, who was hiding at the door eavesdropping, covered her mouth. Blush. This young man's experience is too exuberant, right? Suyi didn't stop until he was sweating profusely. At this time, the female ghost was lying on the bed, covering her face in pain, because he, a female ghost, was made real by mortals. This makes him shameless in the ghost world. Suyi saw him so sad. I comforted him that it all happened. "I will be responsible for you." The female ghost hugged his thigh excitedly, because he said he had no face to hell. But he was convinced by Suyi in his heart. "This is what you said is responsible for me. As long as you don't drive me away, you can do anything to me, even if I treat you like a cow or a horse." Suyi thought about it and agreed. After all, I am not familiar with this world. It's not bad to have a familiar female ghost by your side, and you can also let yourself satisfy the fantasies of a previous life. Think of me? He squatted down and told the female ghost to stay. "You can also. But there are 2 conditions." The female ghost agreed without thinking. The first one, "You are responsible for taking full care of my life." And don't say bo. The female ghost in daily life is still acceptable. But what if it's not every day? So you revealed a gentleman's smile. Make the routine. It would be fine. Hearing this, the female ghost suddenly broke out. It's just too angry. Even if I go to 18 layers of hell, I will not submit to you. But he was completely convinced by Su Yi before he finished speaking. Then weakly asked the second thing. Su Yi smiled. From now on, you will call me Lord Su Yi, and change to a maid's outfit. In this way, the female ghost is under the lewd power of Su Yi, started his career as a maid, and Su Yi studied the netherworld system. After some observation, he couldn't help but yell at what rubbish. Other people's systems are both humanoid and heaven-defying. Why is there nothing in my stupid wall system?